What's going on, boys? If you're watching this video, you're trying to lose some weight, okay? You're trying to lose some fat, but you're still trying to enjoy yourself, go out for nice dinners, still have those snacks and treats that you enjoy. And you can do that while losing weight. And as you see in these two photos right there, this is a big transformation because I did put on muscle as well. I did a bulk since then. But through these two photos, I was still eating the foods I like. I was still, locked in and making progress, but I was still enjoying myself. And the reason why I was able to do that is because of macro manipulation. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is understand your calories. So in order to do that, what I recommend you do is you hit this website right here, and through there it's going to bring you to a calculator, and it's going to have a bunch of other calculators highlighted that you can choose below. You're going to choose the calorie calculator. You're going to put your weight, height, age, how active you are, and then it's going to give you, your maintenance calories. It's going to give you deficit numbers, surplus numbers, all that stuff, okay? Definitely go ahead and do that if you don't know what your maintenance is right now. So honestly, I'm not going to go over everything because you guys do have access to this document. The one thing I will say is that the most important thing when it comes to your macro breakdown is that you get your body weight in grams of protein. So if you weigh 170 pounds, you need 170 grams of protein. Otherwise, when you lose weight, you're going to lose muscle as well. And then before you know it, you're just going to look skinny fat. And I started there. I hated it. Most of you have probably been there too. You hate it as well. So don't do that. Don't be stupid, okay? Make sure you get your protein in. And when it comes to, macro manipulation and enjoying the foods that you like, let's use a slice of pizza for example, right? So it's 300 calories. Let's just say, for sake of argument, 300 calories, right? And let's say you're eating 2,300 calories a day, okay? So you have 2,000 calories left. In those 2,000 calories, you need to make sure that you're still hitting your protein goal, you're still getting carbs, fats, you're still getting what you need in order to function. But you want to make sure that you don't go over your goal still, because clearly you can fit that in. It is possible to get 170 grams of protein and 2,000 calories. It is more than possible. So the rest of your day has to be planned out that you will still reach your goals for the day, and you could have that slice of pizza, or you could have that donut, or whatever it is that you want. You can have it, but long as it works with your calories, okay? How to calculate your macros. So, like I said, we went over that. The one thing I will say is that you should be tracking your calories, okay? Because most of you can't look at a piece of pizza, and you're not going to know how many calories it is. You're going to be like, oh, I don't know. By tracking your calories, I would recommend doing it for 6 months, give or take. You will eventually be able to look at something and be like, okay, that's probably like 300 to 400 calories. And because you're going to know and be able to look at something, you can just keep tracking your head. You're eventually going to understand it. And before you know it, you're not going to have to track anything anymore. So I definitely recommend tracking your calories, especially if you're going to be using macro manipulation, because odds are you think something's going to be like, oh, that's probably like 300 calories, 400 calories. Nah, that's more like 7 or 8. Like, you really don't know until you're using a tracking app. And I would mostly recommend using MyFitnessPal. It is by far the best one. Macro Factor isn't too bad as well, but personally, I am a MyFitnessPal guy. So when it comes to refeeds, treats, and that stuff, there's no need for cheat days. Like, realistically, there isn't, because you can still eat what you want. You just got to make it work. That's all it is at the end of the day, okay? And, in order to make things a little bit easier for you, you should do some low-calorie swaps. So, like, example, sauces. You should be getting, like, the lower-calorie versions, or, like, maple syrup. Or another thing that I like to use a lot is sugar-free energy drinks. These things, lifesavers. They actually get rid of any cravings I have, too, because they're usually, like, sweet and whatever, right? Sugar-free, like Diet Cokes are really good too when it comes to that. They're not, obviously, don't drink 20 a day. I'm saying you have one a day, you're fine, right? Don't overdo it with that whatsoever. But, that's something that will help as well. But you want to make sure that you're swapping out anything really that you can for a lower calorie alternative, because it's just going to make it easier for you to cut, because you're going to be able to eat more because it's not dense in calories of what you're eating. When you eat calorie dense foods, it's going to be harder for you to actually, make sure you stay in your calorie goal for the day. And speaking of, high volume, low calorie foods, down here, I have a list I made out just of about 20 items, some fruits and some snacks that you could use in order to be able to, eat more, but still be losing weight. It's pretty simple, right? So, if you want to work one-on-one with me and we can get more in depth, break things down for you, and really figure out how we can get you to your goals as soon as possible, guaranteed, then go ahead and book a call with me through that link right there.